Why? What did I do? I was smacked walking by the river last time I checked.
Okay, let me look. Well, one of the things was we were in the if you go
On
to
the
the
haggle.
handout, yeah, haggle, you can retroactively buy something if you want. Everything except for the grappling hook, because Will bought it. And a couple of the potions, but I don't think you'd want them anyways.
Motherfucker. All right, let me open roll 20.
All right, we have 5.
Is Kyle
Alex
back?
is a bitch. Fuck him.
Alex is a bitch. Fuck him.
I stay rolling in that candy paint, rolling drink on the full swing. So I'm looking at a handout.
Yeah, so you could retroactively buy something because you were in the haggle smacked. Agalor wandered into the group's midst after they had like gotten into an altercation with a couple of mages over the body of the guy that Darian chased down, and then you came up and were like, "Hey," and like you had visited the apothecary and your eyes were visibly red. So y'all all headed to the haggle.
How much gold do I have?
600.
Fuck, why am I broke?
I think that's a lot, actually.
Why? Well, shit costs $750.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's like that's like your discretionary spending gold.
Cloudy oil. Hell yeah,
So
man.
you saw as before you left the beachfront, down the rocks. You saw someone running along the rocks, elevated above along the coast, like far down, like a mile, but it was visible. And they were striding along the rocks, leaping from one precarious edge to another with ease. Upon closer inspection with your special elf eyes, you see that it's a figure with long, white, flowing hair over their shoulders, and they're carrying a large sack rather easily over their shoulder. And you kind of just see this person, without looking back, just run along the coast. And you notice that it kind of fits it's pretty far, so you can't be certain, but it fits the description from this distance of Windion. And then later on, I'm not going to read it again, but Darian, while he was in the haggle, the shopkeeper said he fit the description of someone to give him like a note, Darian. So Darian got this note, and then he got this mental message in his mind when he touched it. Basically, it was Windion leaving a note explaining where he had gone and the fact that he was still alive, and he couldn't understand like what he was because they were all like kind of weird, like y'all discovered. So he told Darian a bunch of information that you can read in the session summary under Darian's name, and said that he was like leaving. So if you put two and two together, the person that was leaving along the rocks that you saw was Windion. And they had a pretty big sack over his shoulder that he didn't say anything about in the note about that. But yeah. So other than that, and retroactively buying things from the shop. Oh yeah, the last thing y'all did was you went and talked to Faye in the mill because she told Malice to meet up there in like an hour after the mage altercation. Y'all went and talked to her, and she explained kind of her theory about what was happening and gave like kind of like a playbook for the next plan of action. So that's where we are. Y'all are like walking out of the mill.
Damn it, John. What the fuck?
Shut the fuck up. We've been waiting all day for you.
John was in our other secret campaign.
Damn.
Yeah, we've been running misadventures like crazy.
John cooked my shit.
You totally cooked your shit right
All
there.
right.
I have to open up Soraka's character sheet because I'm going to have to control him.
I'm gonna buy the Tome of Leadership and Influence.
I knew you would.
Since you said money doesn't matter, I want that shit.
Money kind of matters. The chainmail John was given for free due to rules lawyering. Silver Sheen was bought, and oh yeah, there was like a secret menu of items that's where the potion of Blair and the grappling hook was. That's in the chat somewhere that I'm not going to dig up, so you just can't see that.
We already bought all the good shit.
Yeah.
There's nothing here. Well, this is a trash shop.
Also, you're boys with the shopkeeper apparently, but you didn't recognize him.
Oh yeah,
Kinda
fuck,
shitty
I
of
forgot
you.
about that. Okay, so yeah, whenever you walked in, the shopkeeper immediately called you out. The shopkeeper's name he told you this later, but you didn't know his name because you didn't recognize him. His name's Reggie Bargains, and he called you out, and he was like, "Hey, Igalor!" And he went and hugged you and shook your hand and was like, "How you doing, you motherfucker?" And he tried to like hit you in the nuts and was like, he was
Try to hit me in the nuts.
Yeah, he was joshing around with you like he's known you, like he was your boy, and you like don't recognize him at all. And like kind of the way we played it is Agalor was just like, because he was already like kind of smacked. He was just like, what? And then as a result of him, like the group being with you, he like opened up his secret menu, which had the grappling hook. So that's how y'all were able to buy that. But
I should have gotten that.
I mean, he didn't offer better prices. He just offered the menu, but he said that he acted like he knew you, and you don't recognize him. And then nothing else really came of that. That was the other thing I forgot to say.
Let's go to the Red Scar Merc Hall.
Yep. So kind of the gist of what Faye said is she was going to send Raphael to the outskirts of town and the surrounding forest to search for entries and exits from Fallhold, like tracks. He's a ranger. Faye was going to try to find a way into the mayor's mansion and uncover whatever she could. And then she told y'all's group, if you were so inclined, to go investigate the Red Scar Keep, because there is one now in Fallhold, whereas there wasn't one before. So that's kind of where we stand.
Should we assume that we had time to do a long rest, or maybe just a short rest?
Short rest for sure. Long rest, no. We're like literally picking up right after the meeting with it was like dusk, and now it's almost nightfall. The point being, y'all could go do a long rest if you wanted, but the point was to go in the cover of night, kind of.
You just take a nap.
Well, I'll say y'all did a short rest while you were discussing with Faye and had this meeting, for sure.
Okay.
I think we're all pretty on board.
I hadn't lost any hit points.
Yeah, I didn't
I
think
need to roll some hit dice.
Okay, you can roll those. Everybody should be level 3. I don't remember anything that y'all's characters do.
What's the other thing?
Open up your character sheet. Actually, Agalor, I in D&D Beyond, I went and was looking at everyone's characters, and I wanted to. I don't know why I clicked on yours, but I clicked on yours because I wanted to see something, like what your some stat was.
Mine's probably fucked up.
And I saw that you hadn't picked any spells, and you're like a druid and a ranger, and they both get spells. So I picked.
You could have been hunters marking shit this entire time.
Well, I picked some spells for you, so you don't have to use them, but they're useful. They're like kind of the ones that I would pick if I was in your position. But you can edit those as you see fit. But you don't have 0 spells now. Okay.
The D&D Beyond transition was actually devastating to me. That other character sheet was everything I'd ever done.
The other character sheet was so limited because it didn't have subclasses, which is the whole point of making a character.
D&D Beyond is light years better.
Yeah, D&D Beyond is good as shit. Damn it! One of the things in the housekeeping is for Sirocco. It was like one of the only things. All right, I'm not going to give this to him. It's been stripped, and it's being given to 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh god, there's a lot more wine in that bottle than I thought.
All right, Agalor, this is yours now. You thinking back.
Agalor's got everything.
Thinking back to the scene. Well, this doesn't actually make sense. It can't be Agalor. Fuck. Okay, Darian, it's you, because you're the one that was up close with the cloaked figure. So you notice, like, thinking back on the scene, like as kind of Faye's talking about like kind of the situation and how things are not adding up really and whatnot. You're thinking back to the cloaked figure that you tackled, or Sean tackled, and then he did his thing where he like scared Emmett somehow, and then he ended up dying from Emmett's like lightning bolt. Mm-hmm. Just thinking back to that cloak, this is Xavier's handler from the Syndicate, who's now deceased. The description of him was kind of, he wore like a gray cloak that was like tattered, and he had like bad fingernails, and like was wearing like one shoe, kind of like a vagabond. It's kind of odd because people, especially in Fallhold, which is like a rather wealthy like city, it's not like Wake. Like the larger cities have more like an increased like impoverished population, but even then it's different because people in today's age don't like look like this anymore. With the onset of like industry and just magic and prosperity in recent decades, wealth and like income inequality, if you're going to use that phrase, has been like pretty much abolished. There aren't really vagabonds anymore. Like everyone owns land, everyone's like a magic user, everyone has something where it's not, you wouldn't expect to see a person like this basically. Maybe like in the wilderness, but not in a city, certainly. So this is something that you you notice that is kind of like odd about this guy, that he was a handler in like the Syndicate, which is like a pretty powerful shadow organization. And then before y'all left, like before everyone split up, Raphael, Faye, and y'all, Faye would say to you, remember, we still don't really know who or what we're dealing with. Honestly, this is the kind of thing that excites me. This is what I do. But of course, discovery invites danger, so stay frosty. Basically is what she'd say to you as y'all depart. And now y'all can move freely. That's all the housekeeping I had. And Agalor is saying, get ass, can't you molesters?
I said the shit out of that.
We're going to the Red Orc Keep, Red Scar.
Let's do it, my dudes.
Yep.
I fucking hate those guys, let me tell you. You know you're a bunch of rude boys. I haven't bothered to ask, but I really don't like them.
I think we all are pretty well.
Not now, Malice. We gotta go on an adventure.
Malice
Learn
swims
about
into the
later.
sea and doesn't look back.
It's a nice little pier here by the haggle.
Okay, so the keep would be back
Wanna
over in
shoot
like
in
the
the water?
Merc houses that y'all had ventured to before. Like that area, kind of by Faye's description, is kind of back and further back than y'all had gone before in the area where the red X is. So as y'all are approaching this area where there's various tenants like housing and then also the guild halls for the mercenaries that kind of operate in the nearby outlands, you see the Red Scar Keep is in the back, but it's past the larger and kind of more prominent and long-standing guild halls that Malice would probably remember. They've probably been renovated since then, but they're in the same spots. There's the Blue Bloods, the Emeraldus Company, the Yassar. All of their halls are much larger and more prominent, but in the back you do see this Red Scar, and it's kind of noticeable by the banner that denotes the Red Scar, which is two large claw marks across an orcish skull with a blood red background. And it's emblazoned over the surface area of the front side of the building. And it kind of has double doors. And again, it's like evening, if not like night. And there's like a crescent moon now in the sky. There's no one really around.
He's like, these assholes didn't used to have a guild hall here. I don't know what happened.
Don't see any activity. You also don't see any lights. There's lights in some of the tenants' houses. There's no lights on in any of the guild halls, really, because this is obviously beyond operating hours. But people, generally you would know that some people sleep in the guild halls. People train there at all hours of the night, so you don't really know if it's, just because the lights are off. But
We got a plan of attack.
Yeah, should we just bust down the door? Should we walk around and see if there's any other
Yeah, we
back
gotta
entrances?
We gotta go. Just go right in. No reason to be sneaky.
We're going in hot.
Go right in.
We're just going in high. Will's got that grappling hook. Nothing can hurt us.
That's right. I'm going to shoot into a man's chest. An orc's chest. Because I'm a racist.
Wow. Came out as MAGA while I was gone.
Malice is MAGA.
That's canon.
Malice is MAGA. It's canon.
So we're going here.
Yeah. You see on the way that Sirocco is kind of like looking around, and you see him looking into some taverns and maybe some like the red light district of the area, but he stays focused.
Faye's not trying to buy pussy.
I just like splashed water on myself because I was taking a drink of water whenever he said that. I just got fucking shit all over my face. Damn it. Okay. So y'all are just gonna go in the front door?
Yeah, once Igalor gets here.
I'm there, dog.
No, Igor's
You're
there.
a character, my dude.
Where the fuck am I, dude?
You're on the
Ping.
docks.
I'm pinging.
I got
Yeah,
you.
and where am I? Am I supposed to go over here? Is that what you guys wanted?
Yeah, that's where we are. Do you want to be a part of the team, or do you want to be Mr. Pouty Pants and not hang out
I
with us?
want to be Mr. Pouty Pants. That's literally what I want to be.
All right.
But
So-
I'm here, dog.
Let's
I'm
get in
here.
this guild hall.
So yeah, you try the door and it's actually open. You walk right in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we need to kick this down? But I guess we just
Walk right
opened
in, and there's the MacGuffin that we needed, and we walk out.
Oh. Malos' fourth wall breaking MAGA man. You step in to the double doors of the keep. Inside is a large room, about 30 feet across, 50 plus feet going back. It's like a pretty long hall. Obviously, there's no one you can noticeably immediately see in the room. Like I said, it's dark. There's some candles going, light slightly, but for the most part, it's dark. And it actually looks like the first part of the room is kind of just some tables and like a desk area. And then in the back, there's more of like a training room where there's practice dummies and weaponry lining the walls and a large mat on the ground. And there's no windows that you can see like anywhere in the room. It's just kind of like the door. And all manner of weaponry hang on the walls. And all the chairs are pushed in. There's no, that's what you see. And as Krunan walks in, once again, your special little friend, you feel the Wand of Secrets pulsing, indicating kind of the...
The Wand of Secrets is what we call his dick, by the
way. Why is it pulsing?
You're fully engorged.
Fully torqued.
You're fully torqued, and you notice kind of like looking out. Krunan.
Okay.
Big D dwarf. It indicates kind of like the corner of the room. You can kind of inspect it for a moment, and the corner just to the right as you walk in, it is like pointing in that direction. And if you approached, you can clearly see that there's seams in the floor, and like kind of the wooden flooring. There's a section of it that has like a seam along it that's pretty clear. It's a cube, a panel of the flooring that looks like it can be displaced, and it actually has been. If you look closely, it stands a little bit ajar.
All right. Well, I'm going to point that out.
This is the door? What is the door?
In the corner of the room, there's like a little looks like a trap door that has been a little bit ajar.
Huh. That's kind of weird. What exactly are we doing here again?
"Quote unquote" investigating.
Okay.
We're busting caps.
Yeah.
Let's investigate this.
Yeah, I'm gonna investigate and see if there's anything in the room.
Okay, y'all can roll me investigation checks if you're investigating like this room.
What the hell's an investigation check, bro? Oh, okay, +3.
You looked at your character sheet for 1 second and saw it immediately.
Yeah, I investigated the fuck out of this room, bro.
Okay, Agalor.
Agalor's a fucking like drug addict savant.
Yeah, you start drug addict like it's actually you're just actually Sherlock Holmes because he did like opium to like hone his mind. So you investigate it. You pour over everything in this room, go all along the like training room, and what you take away is that it's like immaculately kind of like clean, and there's not like a trace of like any recent activity in the place. Like all the weapons are in their rightful places. Like I said, all the chairs are pushed in. There's nothing that it really appears out of place here. So your investigation basically turns up nothing other than this intuition that, this is kind of odd.
This is creepy.
Yeah. Well, I point that out to everyone. Everyone's like fucking shocked. They're like, wow, this guy's fucking good.
I mean, they probably are.
I say, wow, this guy's fucking good.
And then, yeah, that's about it. I'm like, I was ready to throw hands, but wasn't in the cards tonight, boys.
Can we go peek in this trapdoor?
Should we do there's got to be some check we can do before we go in so we don't get...
You can check for traps in general. Like, that's like something that...
Can we check for traps before we go down the trapdoor?
Normal mechanical traps, investigation, I guess, also. Sirocco can roll this as well.
Oh, shit.
Are we all rolling?
Kyle entered his mind palace. Found everything.
I can be Sirocco.
Get the same investigation check.
All right.
Yeah, Sirocco's investigating something very different than we are.
He didn't find anything. Okay, so if you went over and kind of carefully checked for any springs or traps of any kind of the mechanical nature, you would not discover anything, Krunan. Looks like it's just, I don't know, some secret trap door, and you can look down a little bit because it is a little bit ajar, and it leads into a small stairwell that can fit at least one person at a time, leading downwards.
I think we should go in.
Yeah, get in there, dog.
I didn't say I wanted to go first.
I'll go first. I'm in there, dog. What am I rolling?
I'll follow you.
What am I rolling?
Investigation.
No, you
Again?
don't have to roll anything.
No, I'm kidding.
So yeah,
So I'm gonna 1 this time.
it's a spiraling stairwell, fits one person at a time, goes down, but not for long. And you enter another room that is like a little bit better lit. There's a fireplace, and there's more lights, and you're able to see everything. And I'm going to transfer everybody over. This looks like it's kind of like the hearth of, like, where y'all are coming out of is right in that blue circle. That is like the stairwell leading down, even though it doesn't look like it. And you see, this is kind of like the mess hall, and there's like food on the tables, and it's well lit, like I said, but you just see the bodies of various orcs appearing to be Red Scar mercenaries themselves litter the floor, and there's blood and signs of combat everywhere.
Someone did our job for us.
This shit's wild.
Looks like a bunch of Red Scar orcs have been slaughtered.
I know we're here.
All right, let's inspect.
I want to see how fresh or I guess like how long ago it was that the orcs were killed. Try to get a feel for that.
Okay, y'all can roll investigation checks once again on this scene.
Yeah.
It's so loud.
It's way too loud. How do I lower that?
Oh shit, I don't think you can. I think you can only edit the volume of the music.
Sounds like that noise Kanye makes in the Poopity Scoop song.
I know, it does. Okay. So yeah, it appears that the kills and the blood is like, the blood's dry but not that dry. The kills were recent, like within the last 24 hours. And you do notice that all of these people, all these they're mostly orcs, have Red Scar emblems on their armor and on their signature weapons. And wow, everybody rolled really well. Let's see what Sirocco knows. He still sucks. Okay. Floor, Malice, Darian, Krunan, you all noticed that the kills on these orcs were like precise. Some of them don't even have weapons in their hands themselves, and they're cut at the throat. They're stabbed like cleanly through the heart, and there is blood spilt, but it looks like there's less blood than there maybe you would think there would be with this level of like a massacre.
And there's no corpse besides Red Scar.
No. Yeah, there's a couple of humans. There's a couple of there's like one elf, but I mean mostly, Red Scar is mostly orcs. Obviously, there's definitely no dwarves. Red Scar would never have a dwarf, but there's mostly orcs, 1 or 2 humans and 1 elf. Yeah.
Well, given that we just fought a lot of these guys, I think we should probably be careful because I don't think they're pushovers. I'm not trying to get got right now. That was in character.
Yeah, I'm worried like someone's gonna walk downstairs and we're just gonna be standing next to all these dead bodies. Like,
yeah, can we sort of like seal the door in any way?
Seal the trapdoor? Yeah, you could just pull it like back over to where, and like have it be hidden underneath. It's kind of like underneath the carpet in the corner of the room on the surface level.
And so, are there any visible exits in this room that like the perpetrator could have escaped to, or should we assume they just went back out the front?
From what you can tell, yeah, there's a door over. Let me get the X. There's this door over here leading into like some bedrooms if you were to like look inside.
Mm-hmm.
And in this room over here, I mean, y'all could go and enter that room, but you can't really. You can see what's in there right now, but you're not. You'd have to go in. Same thing with over here. It's like the kitchen.
I'm gonna go into this closet place.
Yeah, Darian. So that's what the room over there is. More beds. Malice, the room you're in looks like the captain's quarters, like kind of leader's quarters. And there's a bed on like a raised platform, and then there's a locked trapdoor right here, as you can see. And yeah, there's no one in that room. There's no bodies in that room.
Kind of check around if there's like some stuff in his things. Maybe the keys are there.
Yeah, you could roll me an investigation into the just general. So Sirocco and Krunan are both going to roll perception checks in here.
Oh shoot. Scoop, scoop-de-whoop.
This is so dumb. I hate it. Okay, so Krunan, you notice this kind of like being on edge. You're in like a strange situation, so your like senses are attuned, and you're just kind of like, I guess, wandering around in this main room still.
Yeah.
You hear footsteps like above you, on the ceiling, like above, like on the ceiling of this place. You can hear footsteps sourcing from on high,
Well,
kind of like slowly. And if you were to look up, you see an like extravagantly like armored and dressed figure walking on the ceiling upside down.
Wait, what?
And he's holding something, and then you begin to hear music. And he's playing a song, and you hear he's walking along the ceiling, strumming what sounds like a lute, and he's singing a song. And the words are, and you can react to this at any point, but I'll just say the entire song.
No, sing it, please.
Yeah, I want the full fucking immersion, my guy.
They were not taken unawares, just not good enough. Gil and his goons as strong as bears. Red Scar bureaucracy has been snuffed. Oh, the blood is good. You will not find a better boon. This is existential adulthood. The will must not be immune. For the changes, they are permanent. From this malady, there is no break. Into fate, this evolution is determinant. Take this life in reluctance, and it will not take. And he kind of like sings the last note of that, it will not take, rather loudly. And then Sirocco's kind of like standing here, and I want to make him roll a dexterity check. Saving throw, rather.
Hopefully this music's still going, like after he stopped. Is that a cat right there, by the way?
What the fuck, Josh?
No, that's Anti-Lore. Krunan, you see one of the figures. So Soraka is kind of sitting here. He hears the song. He looks up. It's kind of like directly above him, and he's staring directly upwards. And Krunan, you kind of from your perspective, you don't have to stare or like crane your neck nearly as much. You see one of the figures from the ground rush up and rush right at Sirocco and grab him by the throat.
Yo.
And you can roll initiative along with Sirocco.
I'm thinking this guy was an astronaut?
Can we hear anything?
Y'all can hear the faint. Yeah, y'all can hear the guy singing what he said. This has got an astronaut.
You don't have to answer my question. I know it's got an astronaut.
Yeah.
How do I do initiative again? Sorry.
So,
Oh yeah, I guess this is a table, not a wall, right? So we could like easily see.
Yeah, that's a table.
Okay.
That's a table.
So we're like
on the table.
Have we like heard this nonsense now?
Yeah. So I would make y'all like start there, but y'all can roll initiative as well. And Krunan, you do notice like how quickly this guy moves off the ground. He was definitely on the ground before. Rushes Sirocco, grabs him by the neck, and lifts him into the air. Let's see if Sirocco has
What the hell's initiative? How do you do that?
I got a big space rock boner right now.
Garbage, my guy.
Also, Dylan, this entire time I realized I hadn't had my armor equipped.
Oh wow, on D&D Beyond? That's why your AC was so low?
Yeah, my AC
Oh.
15,
Oh my
should be
god.
12.
Oh wow.
It should be what now?
It's 15.
Oh wow,
I
yeah.
changed it on my character.
That is a huge difference.
I was because I was looking at it. I was like, "There's no way Miles is a fighter. There's no way his AC is 12."
Yeah.
I realized I didn't have my shit equipped.
That doesn't make any sense.
Didn't have my breastplate.
The AC struggle has been real for all of us.
Yeah. Alright, Sirocco doesn't have any of his shit in his character sheet. Okay, so this guy is gonna make...
Yeah, I think I'm generally like in panic shock mode right now, but I would have called out to Malice and Darian, so
Okay.
even if you guys didn't see, like, you'd hear me yelling something.
I hadn't gone in that door yet, so I was still like would have seen the corner of my eye, so we would be aware of it.
So he gets grabbed, and then you see the other, and it's just like unarmed strikes from what you can see, Malice and Krunan, as you react to this. He grabs him by the throat, lifts him into the air, and then with his other hand, he brings it around, like kind of like in a slapping motion on Sirocco's like face. And Sirocco's gonna get slapped.
It's just a slap.
Yeah. For quite a bit of damage, actually. You see him like cry out. It's like, oh, what the fuck? And he's like grabbing his arm. And then he's going to try to attempt to make a check to get out of this grapple. Oh, wow. And you see he's able to, he kind of punches up and like hits the this is an orc in red scar armor, by the way. Punches him in like the underneath the elbow, kind of like with like the technique of a monk that he is, and he's able to release from the grapple, and he tries to like get out of the way. It's like a disengage. He's like defending himself, and he gets behind this table. He's kind of like gripping his throat. He's like, Jesus. And then Darian, it'd be your turn. And you do see Kernan and Malice. You do see the figure. And if you looked closely, you could roll a perception to try to make out more of his figure. But the guy walking on the ceiling that's playing the lute is continuing to play and continuing to like kind of just pace around in a circle on the ceiling.
This is fucking wild. I'm tired of weird shit happening.
Yeah, we gotta start like double tapping everybody. So many dead.
All right, I want to run. I want to dash, and I'm definitely gonna jump over the table. Try to jump over the table. So.
Wait, why is it Darian's turn and not mine?
Oh, sorry, it is Malice's turn.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I wasn't
What?
paying attention to the numbers.
My turn.
And then Kernan, what did you roll? An 18?
Yeah.
Oh, you rolled an
It's
18,
Kernan's
so it's
turn.
actually your turn. I'm wrong. Also, again, never mind. So it's your turn. And
Alright.
then Malice, then Darian.
Okay, I'm gonna whip out my. Oh wait, how far am I? Sorry. So can I? I'm like 25 feet away. Can I run up and attack?
Yeah. You
Yeah,
can.
you can.
Okay, I'm just gonna do that then.
Okay, so you kind of rush through the tables, like do like the cool ass slide over one of them, and then come down swinging, and you're kind of like fall off balance, and you're able to you miss. So I guess do you have control of your character? Yeah. You see where do you want to move? Like right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm clumsy with this mace.
Yeah, you're able to. It's able to dodge out of the way essentially.
Okay.
You're face to face with it. You can roll me a. Since you're face to face, I'd say roll me in nature. Yeah. So you notice this thing. Its eyes are kind of like bloody red, and it doesn't really have pupils anymore. And you can definitely see that it has like elongated fangs. Its teeth, but even longer than what an orc's should look like.
Okay.
And Malice, it would be your turn if you're done, Kernan.
Yeah, I'm done.
Alright, I'm gonna do a combat stunt. And I'm going to run up and try to leap off this desk and leap off this table and
Yep.
bury my axe in the thing's head.
Okay, this is an acrobatics check.
That is...
And I'm going to give you, if you succeed on this acrobatics, you're going to get advantage because you're flanking because Kernan's on the other side of this thing. Yeah, I say you're able to, so you want to run off and then kind of jump the final like 10 feet to get there
Yeah,
and get right here.
and take a swing at him.
Yeah, so I'm saying you're able to do that, and you get advantage because you're flanking, and I'll give you +1 to the damage you do because you're jumping from this distance, and there's going to be some increased force to it.
Okay, so battle axe. Oh, 23, baby.
That is a hit.
Alright, full damage. So 6.
Okay. Yeah. So, two things you notice whenever you're running up.
Dude, I didn't put all my shit in here. I suck ass.
Yeah. What did you roll for initiative? I don't see you on the list. I didn't add you.
I rolled like a 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah, you rolled a
So you're
7.
last, anyways. So yeah, Malice. Two things you notice whenever you're running up. As you're running, you feel the sword like pulsing with like increased energy. Like it's getting like antsy, and it kind of doesn't say anything. But then as soon as you jump and bury your sword into like its back and like slash across, you feel Olivar, the sword, like cry out in like ecstasy, and
Okay.
it drinks in this thing's
So
blood.
I actually swing with my axe. I was about to swing with Olivar.
Oh, okay. That was your axe
as a bonus
first.
action.
Ah,
So
okay.
I swung with the axe first because figured the chopping motion down, and now as a bonus action, I'm gonna swing with Olivar.
Okay.
Do I get
got you.
advantage because I'm flanking?
Yeah, you get advantage on both.
Fuck yeah!
That's a hit. Okay, wow.
Boom, baby.
So total of 18 damage. And
Oh shit!
yeah, as you
Wait, so did Olivar do more damage, or did he just wants this motherfucker?
no, I mean
Okay.
it's a total of 18 damage
as
across
swinging him, I was like, let's fucking do this.
across
in my head.
both attacks. It's 18 damage. Is
Okay.
what I meant.
Okay.
So yeah, you notice that Olivar, like after it strikes this, you feel it like pulsing. It like cries out in like ecstasy. It kind of conveys. It doesn't even use like a sentence. It just conveys this like feeling like it kind of did before, where it's like kind of screaming in your head. It's like, this is the type of thing that this sword was like created for, and it wants you to strike this abomination down.
I kind of think to it. I'm like, this is what I was created for too. Let's fucking do it.
Okay, so that draws a lot of blood. It cries out, and like it kind of turns back your way with these red gleaming eyes that I described to Krunan earlier, and you see the fangs also. And you can roll me a nature check. Oh yeah, your Krunan, your nature check tells you this thing is like probably a vampire. Darian, it's your turn. I don't know if Krunan's ever faced it. I don't know if Krunan's ever faced a vampire before.
I've seen some things, man.
He's a cleric, so he probably knows about undead
I
stuff.
think he probably does, yeah. Okay, and then Agalor, you rolled a 7.
That was years ago, dude.
I know, but I didn't add you to the initiative order. So, Darian, it's your turn then, Agalor.
Okay. I'm pretty far, so I think I just spend my turn to dash to get over there.
Okay, scoop to scoop.
Scoop-de-whoop.
Alright,
No
Agalor,
bonus actions.
it's your turn if Darian's done.
Hey, Dylan, where's the asshole on the ceiling?
He's kind of like directly above y'all, pacing around in this area.
Can I just shoot at it?
Yeah, you can shoot at from that distance.
Okay.
Yeah, punish mark.
I'm gonna do that thing.
Do you have
Sorry.
Hunter's Mark? I actually don't even know if
No,
I added that as
I
a spell
don't.
or anything.
Nope. You added like okay.
I don't know what I
Never
added.
mind.
I added some good spells. The
Hunter's
ones that I
mark
would
is like a
use.
god tier.
I might not have it yet though.
Got that shit.
What?
I have Hunter's Mark as well.
What?
What?
Really? As a paladin?
Yeah, Oath of Vengeance Paladin, you get it.
Oh, okay, that's badass.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, it's not in there now, but I'll put it in later. But I'm just gonna shoot at it, man.
Yep, that does not hit.
Okay.
You see it turn and kind of it deflects the arrow with its arm. Like it was gonna aim true, but it like blocks it with its arm.
Does flanking only give advantage to melee attacks?
Yeah, it doesn't give it to ranged attacks.
Okay.
Ranged attacks already have so much going for them.
Yep, that makes sense.
All right, if you're done, you're gonna see this thing. You see Malice, the kind of the place where you cut it on its back. You see its like wound begin to just like close halfway, and it kind of like strains its muscles. It turns back in your direction, and it's gonna attack you, and it's gonna attack Darian as well. And it's gonna strike Malos only. It's gonna hit you for 8 damage. Kind of claws you across the chest.
That's with my new AC, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it's done. It's not going to do anything else. Okay, it strikes at Malos across like the chest, kind of clawing at it through his armor. You're able to draw a little bit of blood, and then it strikes at you, Darian. You're able to fend it off with your shield.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's Sirocco's turn again. You're going to see him. He kind of saw what Malice did earlier, and he's going to like run along this table and like leap and punch down at this, doing a similar type of combat stunt. He like kicks all the food out of the way on his way. Let's see what he's got. That's frustrating. Doesn't have anything in his character sheet.
He's the same fucking way on the other one.
Yeah, roll 1d5. This is acrobatics. And then how many attacks does he get? He gets at least 2, right? It says 1. But he can do something as a bonus action, right?
I don't know shit about months.
Yeah, I
but
think
remember
he
him
had like
attacking,
4
3 times.
bonus actions. Yeah,
He gets like 4 bonus actions.
4 attacks.
I can't wait till I get extra attacks.
I mean, he can spend key points to do stuff, but like, I'm pretty sure he gets... You can take 1 action on your turn, you can spend 1 key point, make 2 unarmed strikes. Alright, so he's going to do that. He's going to spend a key point, and he's going to make 3 attacks. Only one of them is going to hit. I'm not going to roll damage, because you see...
Were those all rolled with advantage?
No, they weren't. Yeah. It's not going to matter. But the other one does hit. So one of them is a crit. So the first one, he kind of punches in its stomach, and like that, you've seen Sirocco do like these types of blows before, and like this would lay like a normal person low. Like these 3 attacks after what Malice just did to him. The first one punches, second one it dodges, the third one he comes again with the left, and this creature kind of like unaffected by the first hit dodged the second one. You see it like get hit directly in the face, like it would have broken like this orc's nose, and it just, his head doesn't even move. And Sirocco's like, what the fuck? And he knows that he didn't really do anything to it.
Does he scream out, Nani?
Yes. And Krunen, it's your turn.
Okay. I want to drop this guy. I'm just gonna mace swing for now.
Okay, roll me that attack.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wait, with advantage, Cal.
Yeah, you get advantage on this because y'all are uber flanking the shit out of this guy.
How do I?
Just roll it again.
Yeah. All right. That's a hit. So then once again, you see your mace bring down, like hit it directly in the shoulder and like rake across, and it appears like mostly unaffected.
Oh boy. Okay.
Fuck.
I should change.
It didn't do 0, but it did very little, or it did less than it should have.
Okay.
But that didn't happen when I hit it, right?
No, absolutely not. And Malice, is your turn.
Okay. All right. I'm fucking going to town with I'm gonna swing with Holy Bar first, and then chop down with my battle axe afterward.
Yep.
So that's with advantage.
And Krunen, you can roll me an
yeah.
intelligence check for understanding some of the. I mean, I guess you already rolled the nature, so you know. I mean, you would have known this before your turn technically, so you could redo your turn if you wanted. But you would know radiant damage fucks up what vampires can do for obvious reasons, and that's a hit on the creature, along with Olivar.
What's radiant damage?
I think
See?
I don't know if you know Sacred Flame or not, but any like spell that does radiant damage, you can just like read through your spells and see if any of them do.
Yeah, it's like any holy damage, basically. Like any holy attack you have is going to do radiant.
Yeah, because radiant is coming from the sun. This is a vampire. So okay, so you kind of like once again slashed across the back. It was focused on defending itself against Rock and Krunen. So once again, you're hitting it in the back. That does a lot of damage.
I'm guessing fire is not the same as radiant.
No.
I think I'm mostly fire related.
You have Sacred Flame, though.
You'll
right?
definitely learn something at some point that does radiant as a cleric.
I don't have sacred flame.
Oh, okay.
I have searing smite.
Oh, you're the Searing Smite is radiant. Is fire not radiant?
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, Malice. So your sword hits, does that damage, and then you're also going to attack with your axe.
Yep.
Okay, that's also a hit.
Oh yeah.
And that you kind of
Now
dig in
it's going to town.
the same skin. More blood comes out. Olivar is screaming in ecstasy. And this thing is like down to one knee almost. It's struggling, even after you saw it regenerate. Darian, it's your turn. If you're done, Malice.
I'm done. That's all I can do.
This thing's looking in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, it's bleeding from its back, mainly from what Malice is doing, obviously.
All right. How do I do this? So first, I'm just gonna roll attack against it with the longsword, and then I'm gonna maybe Divine Smite, assuming it hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I assume I saw whenever he attacked me, I like recognized it was a vampire or undead creature. So like I'm aware of like the radiant being stronger against it.
Okay.
Let me do this. Okay.
That's a hit.
Okay, it didn't roll damage for some reason.
Just click on it again in the chat, John. Oh yeah.
Damn, that was just shitty rolls, but it's okay.
Okay, so 18 total. Okay, so this brings it down, and not all the way down. It like brings it down to both its knees. It's like bleeding from multiple wounds. It's like crying out in pain, like roaring.
Is that with the double radiant damage?
What do you mean?
Is it weak to radiant or?
No, I mean it's not. So what radiant would Krunen would know this? Maybe Darian probably would too. Radiant basically disables its ability to heal.
Oh, okay, got it.
So it's like down on its knees and it's crying out. This is like this smite, holy smite, just fucked it up big time, but it's not quite dead yet. And Agalor, it's your turn.
I'm just gonna try to finish it off. I'm gonna jack this kill.
Okay, yes, sir.
All the experience will go to Agalor as per the rules. As per the rules, all EXP goes to the final killer.
So yeah, I'm
Miss,
gonna
you motherfucker. Oh, that's not a miss.
Wait, I think.
Oh, John, you bitch.
Well, see my shield. I'm pretty sure it's any attack.
Why are you yelling?
Oh shit, it is because it's cursed.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
Oh no! You gotta get rid of that shit.
That is
Can't get
hilarious.
rid of that curse.
It's cursed.
Wait, the shield is cursed? I thought we didn't find it in the cursed loot. I thought we found it randomly in like another encounter.
The shield is cursed. I don't know where y'all found it, but that shield is cursed.
Okay, fuck.
Give getting rid of the shield doesn't end the curse, by the way.
It ends the curse on the shield, though, right? Or the shield itself is cursed. You're not cursed.
No, I'm cursed now.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah.
DM, is that how it works?
I gotta read it. I don't have it up right
It
now.
says, it says attuning to the shield curses you until you're targeted by the remove curse spell or similar magic. Removing the shield fails to end the curse on you. Whenever a ranged weapon attack is made within a target of 10 feet of you, the curse causes you to become the target instead.
Yeah, you don't lose. Yeah, exactly. You don't lose the.
So how do I attune to something? Do I have to attune to
That's
something
just
to be able to
spending-
use it?
That's spending like a night, like 8 hours, maybe even like an hour, where you just like get attuned with the weapon. You know how to use it, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, within 10 feet, curse causes you
Y'all's
to become
curse
the
shit
target.
sucks. My curse shit's cool.
So Agalor, roll me that damage on your. That's a hit on Darian for 10 damage.
Nice.
You just shot Darian in the back.
Wait, did the arrow? Can we tell that the arrow noticeably changed direction there?
Yes. Yeah. So you were aiming. You were obviously aiming at the dude in the middle, and it glanced in the last second directly into Arian's like back.
Yeah, I don't
Is
feel
it
like we
almost
should have known
cartoony?
that other than if we metagamed, but yeah, I don't think our characters would have been aware that it was even our attacks as well, so.
Okay. So Agalor, you're like fuck,
I'm
and
like,
then
what the
you
fuck?
see this thing. It's like it gets on all fours and like arches its back and screams, and you see it leap like 15 feet onto the ceiling of this room, and kind of just like quicker than y'all can really react. It's like bleeding out of multiple wounds. You see some blood droplets come down from the ceiling, but it's now on the ceiling. And as y'all look up, you can see that. Damn it! You can see that the figure with the lute that's still playing, still walking around, has now walked kind of over to like the back end of this room, kind of. And so it leaps up where he used to be. The guy's walked all the way back to the back of the room, kind of. And I'm going to need Agalor and Mallows to roll wisdom saving throws, as kind of like this music fills your ears. You have this weird intuition. And this guy's on the ceiling.
Son of a bitch. Oh, no. Oh, okay, 15. Sorry, I didn't mean to have advantage.
Okay. Malice, so you feel like you're compelled back this direction. So you can do whatever you want in your turn, but you like kind of are helplessly like you have to move at least 20 feet that direction, kind of back this way.
Okay.
But this guy's no longer, in the center of y'all, so he's on the ceiling now, basically. And it's Sirocco's turn. He's going to run and leap on top of this bar, and he's going to shout some shit at he's like, get down here, motherfucker! Even though he knows that his punches didn't do anything to it. And then Krunan, it would be your turn.
Okay.
How are you reacting to the arrow you just took to the back?
Yeah, let's dig in there.
Oh, me? Well, I'm gonna turn and be like, what the fuck? Did you do that on purpose?
I'm also gonna be like, what the fuck? I didn't do
Okay.
that on purpose.
Okay. Alright, we'll figure this out later. Just don't make weapon attacks from range for the time being.
Wow, John, you don't do the one thing that you do.
Don't
Yeah.
do the only
Yeah.
thing.
Just wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to cure wounds on, or I'm gonna cure wounds on Darian.
Okay.
Scoopy whoop!
Scoopy whoop. Well, that heals him up. You see the hole where the arrow was, kind of like, I'm guessing he had pulled it out at this point. If not, the arrow falls away. You see the wound heal up. Darian's back to basically
Almost
where he was.
Actually, just heals over the arrow and it's sticking out his back permanently.
Can y'all see my HP bar
Yeah.
or
The
no?
bar,
No, we
the
can't.
arrow is,
Okay.
I hope
the arrow
not.
is there forever.
Because you can see my HP bar, right, Dylan?
Yep. So what I did before we started, it was like hours ago, I set up everyone's characters in this room to like have all your shit that you have. So whenever you click on your character, it should have like a link to your character sheet, and then it has your movement speed, AC, and health.
Hey, you want to fill out my my
Nope,
character
you
sheet?
can do that.
No.
It's really easy. It'll be fun. You'll learn a lot as you do it.
No, I'll never fucking do that, bro.
Malice, it's your turn. It takes no time.
Okay.
You can do it while other people are going.
Okay, wait, so I'm compelled this way?
Yeah, so you kind of like you
Hold on.
can direct your attention anywhere, but you find yourself walking back towards this direction as far as you can
Okay.
go.
What, do I just walk into the fucking table?
No, I mean you
Counter?
just move normally, but
Oh, okay.
there's something over there. Something's leading you over that direction.
Okay. Where's the vampire?
He's just directly where he was, but on the ceiling.
Okay. He's 15 feet above us.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Dissonant Whispers on him.
Okay. So it has to make a
DC
wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's gonna roll, but yeah. So you see this creature like kind of it. You hear it hears the music. It takes note of you, and it just kind of like grins your direction, and you don't see anything happen. Like it doesn't have any negative effect from that type of spell.
Oh shit. Okay.
So it's kind of like on all fours, bent over on the ceiling, like looking back, craning its neck your direction, and just grinning at you.
Okay. Is he still like looking pretty fucked up?
Yeah, he's bleeding a lot.
As a bonus action, I'm gonna hurl Olivar at him.
I was hoping you'd do that. Okay, this is going to be a ranged attack, so you're going to make your dexterity modifier to do it, but I'm going to give you disadvantage because this is ridiculous and you've never done this before. You've never thrown a longsword.
But it's cool as shit.
You've never thrown a longsword ever.
If it's a ranged attack, is it gonna hit Darian?
No, it's not. I mean, it's 15 feet away vertically.
It's only
He's not
missiles,
close
right?
enough.
If you threw this magic sword and it redirects and cuts Darian's head off, I'll end the campaign right here and be happy.
You're done, Paul.
No, you have to do it, Will. This is metagaming if you don't.
No,
All
it's
right,
15 feet. It's not within 10 feet.
Alright, so dexterity. Okay, so what the fuck do I roll? I roll d20 plus my
D20
dexterity
plus your dexterity
plus my
modifier.
proficiency bonus.
I'm not going to give you proficiency because you're not proficient in throwing your longsword. You're proficient in using it normally.
You were hoping I would do this, but there's no way I'm going to succeed on this.
It's about the trying. It's not about succeeding. The chances of this working are low. Like longswords aren't meant to be thrown.
Okay, doesn't fucking hit. Let's move on.
So you see it clang. It clangs off to the side of it, and it kind of like recoils because it like knows what that sword's been doing to it, and it falls kind of to the right of Krunan onto the table. And Darian, it's your turn. Plus, I'll let you do it as a bonus action, which is already ridiculous.
I 2-weapon fight, bro.
Yeah, it's true, but I don't know. You did a lot on that turn. But yeah, you basically you're right here now.
Did I realize that?
Do you realize what?
So did I realize that the sword that Will was using? I don't know if I know its name.
He's still looking to
Why are
steal
you going
this
after
sword.
As soon as you grab that sword, it's gonna fucking tell you to fuck off. It likes me.
No, all I
Stop
want to
fucking
do.
metagaming about the sword.
No, I mean, this isn't metagaming. What do you want to know, John?
No, well, because I know that my longsword isn't a holy sword and I can't do any damage to the vampire, I just want to try to throw the sword as well.
Okay, yeah, I mean, your sword isn't magical. You know that. And you saw Krunan hit it with his non-magical mace, and you saw Sirocco try to punch it, and these things were ineffective, and you saw Malice strike it with his magical sword, and that's what fucked it up. So, yeah, you would know that you throwing your sword might not be a good idea.
I have no spells that can do anything.
But if you were to run over and pick up Malice's sword, maybe that would work. Malice and Will's worst fears are about to become realized.
I mean, I feel like that's
I'm not worried about it. I have a bond with the sword. I'm not worried about it. I wouldn't like recoil it. Malice wouldn't recoil it Darian doing that.
Okay. I don't think that's metagaming. I mean, I understand what you were saying. Like, I'm not trying to take the sword, but I feel like that's what, knowing that my sword wouldn't do anything, I wouldn't try to throw a non-holy sword.
No, it's not metagaming.
No, I don't think that's metagaming. I think you.
I'm not
touching
trying
my
to
sword
take
is
the sword.
metagaming.
I wanted to throw the sword. I want to join in on the sword throwing class. So what were you saying, Dylan?
I wasn't saying anything. I'm just saying you can go pick up a sword and throw it if you want.
Oh,
No,
yes, I do want to do
Malice,
that.
you're back there. You're back over here.
Oh, I'm back over here.
Yeah,
What happened?
that was kind of the music. The music led you over there.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So you're gonna pick it up, throw it, dexterity modifier with disadvantage, since this is not something that you know how to do.
Dexterity.
Modifier to your roll 20.
So did just the sword fall, or did the vampire fall?
Ooh.
No, I didn't. The vampire dodged it, and the sword fell.
Okay.
Okay, so you,
We're just kind of fucking throwing the sword up.
so you run over, pick up the sword, and as you do, make a wisdom saving throw. as you grip the sword.
Oh shit, not that one. Oh, it works either way.
So yeah, you pick it up and it like notices it's never been wielded by you before, and it takes a moment to see what you're doing, and then it's like, yeah, this is fine. It basically signs off on your action, and then you throw it, and it goes awry, and it lands like over here now. You just kind of like, it slips out of your hand, and you throw it, and it clangs against the ceiling. Didn't even have to dodge out of the way, and then it falls over there.
Okay, that's my action.
Yep. And then Agalor, it's your turn. Oh yeah, and by the way, Malice, whenever you kind of like hop back over this wall and like are moving this direction, you see kind of inexplicably, right as you walked past Sirocco and then moved past him, he kind of like slipped and fell and like landed on his back on the table and then like fell off to the side of the table and like went prone. And he was like, "What the fuck?" And like he doesn't. I mean, it's kind of inexplicable, but that happens. And then Agalor, it's your turn.
So he just like slapstick fell on his ass?
He slapsticked. And like it's like you used to make food and beer and meat on the table and stuff. Maybe caused it, but I mean, Sirocco's pretty dexterous.
Yeah, interesting. You should make a note of that, John, or Will, whoever that is.
Yep.
Malice is Will.
Malice is like, I mean, he looks at him and he's like, "What the fuck happened?"
I don't know. I just fell.
All right. Well, shit. I don't know what to do. I don't want to shoot John again, but if I have to, I will.
Wait, no, it's still
No,
up in the
10
air.
feet.
He's
10
far away
feet,
from you.
like cube,
Yeah.
basically is what the John zone. You don't want to be in the John zone. The vampire's outside of the John zone.
Yeah, that's actually.
It's 15 feet up in the air, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna shoot
So
at
Dylan-
him then.
Dylan, is the ceiling 15 feet up in the air and he's on the ceiling, so he's more like 10 feet up in the air?
Let's go.
he's
Oh,
not
shit.
walking. He's like prone on the ceiling. He's like lying down.
Let's go.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So a couple of things are gonna happen here. You shoot it, and like it just so happens, you don't have a magical bow, as far as I know, right?
No. A regular ass bow. I missed the magical item.
John, put that away. I don't want to see that.
Fucker.
Yeah.
We're not having that up.
What is going on?
Wait,
A
John.
reminder.
What are you doing, John?
He opened up his John zone. So
It's a John. God damn it, John. I'm gonna have to fucking crit you. I'm gonna shoot you in the head.
it hasn't been a long enough time yet to like let it heal. Like it's about to heal. Like its wounds are starting to close up as you fire this shot. And you're also not using a magical arrows or bow or anything, but you're shooting it directly into the back where Malice has kind of carved it up. So this arrow enters it in its back, and like you can't tell if it like this hurts it or kills it or anything, but you do know as soon as this arrow like goes into its back, it like freezes, lets both of its hands like let go of like the claws that were in the wood, and it just falls directly to the ground on its back, like kind of like in a paralyzed motion. And I mean, you can roll me damage, and it lands right in front of y'all. And then at the same time, Malos, Sirocco, and Agalor roll wisdom saving throws.
So that's
What?
fine.
Wisdom?
That was damage, Dylan.
Didn't mean to do that with advantage. Fuck.
That's wisdom.
That's a
I'm
9.
fucking retarded.
We're fucking up big time.
Okay, so all three of y'all. So Malos, Agalor, and Sirocco. Malos kind of first. You are kind of like continue to drift back, kind of unconsciously, and you see that the figure walking on the ceiling is still playing his lute, and he's kind of walking back this direction, kind of in line with you. You're like compelled back this way, and then Agalor and Sirocco, as if like pulled on some invisible rope almost. Y'all like are kind of roped that direction as well, and all three of you are now in this corridor getting pulled back. And Malice, you begin to feel like some strange forces upon your physical form. But before we resolve that, Darian and Crunan, vampire falls down in front of you. It lands directly on its back. The arrow pierces through its like back and through its stomach, and it's like its eyes are like wide open. And it looks like it's still alive, like it's still like, I mean, vampires don't breathe, but it's definitely still alive. It like moves its head around, but it's like, it's just not moving its like body or arms. You just see its eyes glancing back and forth between y'all. And it's kind of just landed right in front of you. Its arms are out, legs are out, kind of like sprawled out. and then y'all could take whatever action. I guess did you roll an attack? Is that what that was?
On accident, sorry.
He wants to make sure it's dead, so he just brings the hammer down on its head.
Well, you're pretty sure it's not dead. It's just it's like not moving. It's like it's paralyzed almost.
I kind of do want to do that. Just a quick question: if I cast magic weapon, would that make my weapon?
Yep. Yep. That would. So what that does is it would basically make your weapon be what Malice's already is, which is a +1. So it gives +1 to attack rolls and damage rolls, and then there's a lot of monsters, like for example vampires and like ghosts, that obviously if it's just like some spirit floating through the air and you try to swing at it with like a normal sword, it's not going to do anything. And vampires are like, have special abilities that can only be damaged by magical. That's what makes magic weapon really good, because it's a free way to make your current shitty weapon less shitty. And then you can use increased spell slots to make it like +2, right? Or +3.
Yeah.
Doesn't it stay that way? Aren't you like something of the forge and you can make a weapon magical for like forever, basically?
Yeah, if that's the cleric domain you picked, then you can start churning out magic items for the whole party.
I think he can only do it to one. If he does it to another, actually, I don't want to say that because I'm not sure, but
it only lasts an hour. So
yeah, that spell only lasts an hour. But he was saying like your subclass lets you like do stuff with weapons, because you're like, if you're doing Cleric of the Forge, which I think that's what you're doing. That's what your character sheet says, I think.
Blessing of the Forge or something. I don't know.
I mean, at this point, like you might have picked that like earlier on. You can pick whatever you want, but I think that's what was on your D&D.
Yeah. So Kyle, at first level, you gain the ability to imbue magic into a weapon or armor. At the end of the long rest, you can touch one non-magical item. There's a suit of armor, a simple or martial weapon. Until the end of your next long rest, or until you die, the object becomes a magic weapon, granting +1 to AC if it's armor, or +1 to attack bonus if it's a weapon.
Oh, so you would have already had that. Yeah.
I feel like we talked about this, and I just forgot.
I don't remember talking about it, so it's probably on me for not like bringing that up. I should have like told you that, because I knew you were a forge cleric.
Okay, well then I was kind of fucking up with my mace anyway. I do want to smash down on this thing.
Okay, so you're gonna magic weapon it. Let's say you just use that spell in this moment, and then you'll have your forged weapon later on, because I don't know the complete rules of it or whatever. But either way, it's prone. It can't really move. It's a hit no matter what. So you can tell me how this is going to go down. But as you're doing this, maybe like as you strike this finishing blow, you're pretty certain it's going to kill it. You do have this like compulsion. Again, y'all weren't affected by the music. Malice, Agalor, and Sirocco, that's why y'all are over there, is this music kind of like entered your head, and you were compelled that direction. Y'all weren't like that, and at this point the music would stop. But Corinna and Darian, you notice that like you feel some compulsion that direction anyways, and you notice the positions kind of like keenly without even a perception check of Malice, Agalor, and Sirocco. Like you both notice simultaneously. You just have this like feeling as you bring your mace down upon this prone vampire, and you can describe your own coup de grace.
Okay, I don't have to roll for damage right now.
Nah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a two-handed swing and like baseball bat smash his head.
Okay. So Darian, you witness this, and then back to Malice, Agalor, and Sirocco. Malice, like I said, you begin to notice like changes around your physical form, and like kind of behind you, you feel, and if you turned and looked, you see like a kind of like a magical, like illusory. It was a wall, and now it's like an opening into this bluish light, and you want to go towards it along. And then Agalor and Sirocco kind of don't even notice this, but you notice like your movements are kind of paired with theirs, where like as you move, they are also shifting along with you.
Okay, but can I like speak freely, or?
Yeah, you could say whatever you wanted.
Okay, I'm just gonna describe, guys. I'm feeling this like compulsion to go in this portal. I can't really fight it. I am compelled in my bones to go towards this thing. And is the figure still up there?
The figure is gone. You saw him. I would say you'd be attuned to like kind of what he was doing, because you were fully aware of like your mind and stuff, but you just were doing this. So you were constantly like looking up and looking back and heading where you were going, but you kind of just, your legs were moving unconsciously. Mm-hmm. You saw him also, like as he walked into this, he's still on the ceiling. He walked into where the ceiling met the wall and just kind of like phased away, and he's just not there anymore, and the music's gone.
Okay.
But now this portal, what looks like this portal is opened right here at the base of this, in this hallway at the end of the the end of the line over here.
Okay, I'm gonna shout. Krun and Darian, there's some kind of magic compelling us. We need you. Someone's got to help us. I don't know what to do, but I think I'm about to walk through this portal unless you guys do something now.
And both of y'all already you kind of already knew his position, and you knew that he was over there, kind of unconsciously. You had a perception that was really high on all three of your party members over there.
All three of them are about to walk into the portal?
Yeah, kind of in a line.
Damn.
And y'all are well aware. You hear him shout, and you're like, shit, yeah, I mean...
So this is a portal?
The X right here.
Oh, okay. Oh. I had my turn order over that X, so I didn't see it. Are we... I guess we're out of initiative.
Yeah.
I want to use Divine Sense and see if it's
Divine Sense. Okay. What does that do? I know you're describing this last time, but I just want to read it.
Mm-hmm.
It's it detects evil, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, D&D Beyond is failing me hard right now. Okay. Its presence of strong evil registers your senses like a noxious odor. Powerful good rings like heavenly music in your ears. Okay. As an action, you come into your awareness. Fiend, undead. Okay. So you notice a couple things. There's several figures, bodies around you. Obviously the one right in front of you, but there's several others in the room that are also register as undead. But you know that, like this one just before you, it was undead before it was put down again. So you could call not everything in the room, but a lot of the other Red Scar figures in this room are re-dead. They were undead and then they got re-deadified. And y'all just re-deadified this one. But as far as any other good or evil being detected, you detect a lot of good on Malos and the weapon. Actually, no, he doesn't have his sword. The sword's over here. Yeah, so you detect the sword over here as something that emanates good.
Okay. I think that's an action, but as a free action, I can convey that to the party and just say hey, actually, I think there's more undead than just this vampire we just killed. So there's some funky stuff going on in here.
And as you say that, the last words that Malos hears is, "There's some funky stuff going on here," as his ass is sucked into this portal. Literally your ass.
Fuck, I don't have my sword. God damn it.
And Agalor and Sirocco, y'all, like I said, y'all are kind of pulled along as if there's an invisible rope or string attached to you. Malos gets sucked in, and then you are immediately pulled in along the way. And you see Sirocco kind of he's looking the other way kind of obliviously, and he goes prone and his ass starts sliding on the ground. And Darian and Krunan, y'all both notice this as well. You're not compelled to move, but you understand that they just got shifted out of the room.
So they went through the portal, and the portal's still open?
Yeah. So you were like, "There's some funky stuff." Oh boy.
All right, Krunan, you think we should? I think we should go follow our party. See what's going on over there.
The first mysterious portal we've blindly gone into.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick up the sword that was that registered as holy and put it in my bag.
Okay. When you pick it up, you it reconnects its former connection with you whenever you wielded it the first time. It begins to speak to you kind of in sentences, whereas before it was just a feeling of as soon as you picked it up and you were deciding to throw it, it either wanted that or didn't want it. It decided it did want it. Now it's kind of it feels like a more powerful signal. And it begins to speak to you, and it recalls its own life. It's as if it understands its past and that it was once a person and not a sword, and it can recall slaying the undead and slaying vampires in its former life, and it sees itself. And you can't really insight check this or determine if it's telling the truth or not, but it sees itself as a hunter of evil, and it's a sword now, obviously, and there's some spirit within it, but it had a past life, is what you understand, and it feels maybe more powerful now because it just helped kill that abomination.
Okay, well, I'm after getting attacked by Agalor, not being aware of what the shield I had on does. I'm gonna be kind of creeped out. I think it's definitely cool, the whole being into I mean, me being into trying to kill undead and fiends and stuff like that. So I'm wow, that's really cool. But you're cursed, so I'm just gonna put you in my bag for now. Because I'm a little hesitant to accept magical items now after not really understanding what happened with my shield in that fight.
You've got the magic item yips. Okay, it goes into your bag, and it doesn't say anything more. It just kind of conveys all this to you as you pick it up, and then it goes silent.
You're just like, shut up, go in my bag.
I mean, I guess like I can talk to him. Like, can I talk to the sword and like convey that in my mind, like while I'm putting it away?
What? That you're scared of it?
Like, I'm hesitant. I wouldn't say scare is the right word. I don't think I'm scared of a lot of things, but like hesitant to like trust a magical item.
I would say to you, if you want power, then pick me up and let's head towards the darkness.
Damn.
And it doesn't have anything to add to what your inquiry is.
Okay, I'll keep it in my hand then, if it says that.
Okay.
And then I think Karina and I will go towards the portal.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, if y'all are before the portal, like you know that Malice, Agalor, and Sirocco just went through it, but you don't know where they are. So before I describe the position that they're in, I'm gonna make y'all decide what you're gonna do.
Wait, what do you mean?
Wait, what?
To maximize, like, not metagaming, y'all are gonna have to make a decision before I describe what's happened.
Oh no, we're diving in.
Oh, y'all are diving into the portal. Okay.
Yes.
Y'all are just
First,
y'all are going head first. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The holds barred.
So.
I'm going dick first into the portal.
Okay, so y'all's group got there first, but now Darian, Krinan, you both, it's kind of like one blink. We're going through kind of this bluish, purplish energy around you, and then you all appear on the same like level of height, but you're all floating above this like pool of like what looks like water, and you're all like kind of like at the same like equidistant from each other, floating above this pool. And yeah, so as you went through the bluish purplish energy, like I said, that was like a blink of time. You continue to hear music, and it's similar to the music on the lute that you heard earlier from the guy walking along the ceiling. And I think y'all might have rolled perception checks, but I didn't tell you what you saw. Whoever rolled that perception check, I think it was probably Malice. You did notice that it was a dark elf. It was a dark elf, and he was wearing like extravagant clothing. Kind of had like a cloak on with like some armor. He had a lute, and he looked ridiculous. But you do know it was a dark elf when you like took more note of him. So yeah, you pass through this wall, and you're now floating above what looks like a pool. And if you like took a notice of your surroundings, it appears like you're now in like a cavern, and there's a pool before you. It's dark, but you can kind of see everything from a glow coming within the pool. And you know that you've now like entered this space above the pool, and you should be falling in, obviously, because you're just like floating in the air. But you continue to stay suspended in the air as you sit there. And you notice surrounding you is like moisture in the air, and it's small droplets of what looks like water, like rain, and they're falling upwards. And there's kind of like light and rain droplets flowing upward from the pool, almost as slowly as you're drifting, like kind of in a circle. And the more you look at the droplets of water, the more you gaze into the pool below you, there's a certain level of like unreality and like surrealness, I guess, to this moment. And all of y'all can roll another wisdom saving throw as you like look into the water below you. Okay, so Malice and Sirocco, y'all both notice that like, I guess everyone, Agalor, Krinan, and Darian, not Darian, just Agalor and Krinan, y'all both know that this, like what's about to happen is kind of like an illusion, but Malice, Darian, and Sirocco, like this feels pretty real. Like it feels like you're being transported to another place. Krinan and Darian, Agalor are both like, there's magic at work and it's working on my mind, and you have an understanding of that. And as you stare into the pool, you experience this like kind of out-of-body experience. You see yourselves begin to fall like full force into the pool, but it's not your body, it's like your mind. And as y'all stare in, you can see like this figure surface from within the water, and it's this massive like creature, and it has like I have a picture here. It has like glowing blue eyes, and there's 3 of them. This is what it looks like. It's within the water in the pool, and y'all are floating about 20 feet above the water. So that's what you see. Y'all can roll me a nature check to see if you understand what this is, but it may not end up mattering. So you see this large mass in the water below you. It's a creature staring up at you through the pool.
I'm missing today.
Krunan.
You're getting a lot of nat 20s today.
So Krunan, you know this to be this is like a rather legendary, very rare being, and Darian. And Krunan, I can could probably source why you'd know this, but this is an Aboleth. An Aboleth is like a psychic aquatic creature that's known to be psychic, but then have like great power over creatures to where it can speak to them, and it can even get to the point where it can control them. And Crunan would know kind of about control and kind of like mass hallucination and whatnot from his time in his past. So that makes sense that you would know that. Darian, you also know it's an Aboleth, but that's just from some of your studies about learning about creatures of the world. Agalor, you do not know what this is, and I won't roll for Sirocco because I don't care. So you begin to pull this up. So as you're sitting there and you're looking into this creature, and like, again, y'all know this is a creature that can speak to you telepathically. It's definitely sentient. It's a thinking, like, super intelligent being. Words begin to fill your mind, and you feel the words more than you hear them. The words source from a watery and like gravelly voice appearing within every corner of your conscious mind. They're soothing yet relentless, purposeful and recursive on a theme you can't help but try to discern. And this aquatic beast starts to impart to you that it means you no harm. And it kind of says in no uncertain terms, it understands that you have a role to play without elaborating on that. And you soon realize the words start to weave a story, familiar in a mythic sense, but this is a story that you've never heard. And it would say, this story is long, so buckle up. So this is the story of the Aboleth. It would tell you that this is a tale it's about to tell you, and it's letting you know this is going to be. So in a past age, a past reality, there was a person who is eternally mortal and presently restless. Not so uncommon a combination, but this person, this woman, this individual who would become the All-Mother, was different in that she had designs to do something about it. To change herself, her people, her reality. This is her story. In a settlement not unlike all the others, this woman lived her life. She was an artist, more specifically, she was a writer. From a young age, she had a mind bursting with imaginative force. She wrote epic poems about the slaying of dragons, historical literature about the dawn of the gods, adventure fantasies embodying herself and her friends, great sorcerers, in a chaotic land of blood and fire. She crafted romantic, emprising, and mythical tales of heroes and villains, fighting for the soul of the world. In telling these stories, she wished to rid herself of her own limitations. Her limitation was magical in nature. Her curse since birth was quite serious indeed. She could not use magic. She was born with a latent incapability to harness the reality-bending arcane forces she knew to be all around her. You see, such a condition was truly damning, for in these times, in the ages before the strife, before the spell plagues, before the eternal fires of the blood war touched down upon our mortal realm, everyone was empowered by magic, every single person. Every individual mortal was adept in some manner of the mystical arts. The essence of magic filled the air and livelihoods of all men and women. It was essential to life. To be stripped of this was to some a fate worse than death, an unfamiliar and supremely unnatural situation, and one everyone feared. To be born without such natural gifts was unthinkable, and yet such was the fate of this woman. She lived a relatively normal life. She had her friends. She made her travels. She loved and lost. She sired children. She didn't pass on her flaw to the next generation. But all along the way, she was treated differently. There were certain experiences, certain feelings forever closed off to her. Obviously, she longed to be like the others, to wield the forces of magic and shape her surroundings like her peers. But she never could. After searching for years, consulting with the grand mages of the time, reading ancient texts, traveling to sacred sites, she was never any closer to tapping into what was never given to her. And so she became a writer. She wrote her way to catharsis. These stories, alongside the journey of love and of motherhood, carried her into something like peace. But the restlessness of her position would never truly be absent. She used this chaos within her as an artistic manifestation. She wielded her imagination like a blade to cut away at the existential dread inhabiting her. All of this is important to know because it informs her choice. When the time came for her to face down the gods, she knew with conviction exactly what she wanted. So when war came to the world, by way of a cruel fate, this woman's homeland was one of the first to burn. The great wizards and sorcerers of the organized realms of men could not stand against the gods and the demons and the primordial beasts wrecking the world for their own incomprehensible purpose. The lands burned with divine vengeance, a reprisal against the ambitions and hubris of mortal beings stepping over the line one too many times. Alongside her hearth, her family, her dreams. This woman's soul perished while her body survived. She came upon her homeland with fire burning in her eyes and infernal bloody pain in her heart. And then you kind of like imparted this image.
Oh shit.
hands, infernal bloody pain in her heart. The scene was not unlike the dramatic fiction she often dreamed of herself. She witnessed the realization of her own dark imagination with the blood of everything she had known as the ink upon the page of her life. The encounter was crushing. And after witnessing everything she cared for destroyed in this nameless and seemingly eternal war, this woman, with nothing left to lose, rose to the impossible precipice of a mountain to beckon a being that she knew to be involved in some way in what had happened. This being was Sire, the most powerful of the myth, the master of shadows and of mind, one Mysterian of the cosmic pantheon of gods. She wished for him to give her the power to kill the gods, all of them, including himself. She was boldly raging against their sadistic games of manipulation and what she believed to be her own newfound meaningless existence. She wished to enact a most horrible vengeance upon them all, at whatever the cost. She had designs to bathe her reality in their divine blood and in their fallen stead, write a new one with her own capable hands. What she needed to find this fate for herself and those mortals that remained was power, and she knew Sire could provide it. He might even be inclined to do so. All of Sire's myths involved strange and often ironically benevolent interactions with mortals. She challenged Sire to any possible game or test to fight he could imagine, with her victory granting her his own powers and position. If she lost, Sire would gain her soul and those of everyone she knew that had perished in the divine war still being waged. Sire, known for his love of cosmic gamesmanship, agreed to the terms wholeheartedly, and Sire's choice was for them to play a simple game of Go. The game began then and there, but it did not end for years. After decades of deliberative move-making and ruminations on 7th level Mentat strategies and misplays and fallen pieces, the game came down to a single move. The woman was down. Her probability for victory practically zero. Both players knew this. All she could hope to do was play for a draw. It gave her hope in a game of Go with a master of the mind, a god of the mind. A draw was as powerful as a victory. Perhaps the terms of the wager could be compromised to her advantage if she could only convince him. But Sire saw her position just as keenly as she did. His victory was imminent. She might distract this cosmic god with something outside the game, perhaps manage to bend reality itself by gaslighting him with words or motion, maybe even convince Sire of his own fallibility. She knew it all likely impossible. Her fate was once again futile. Now Sire, of course, seeing with perfect clarity and articulation the path to victory, made his own choice. Some legends have it he simply threw the game because he revels in chaos. But others believe he also saw another move before him, future-casted and calculated with all known information before the two of them. It would bring about a whole new universe of possibilities for himself and for this little mortal woman. It was a devilish choice, perhaps counterintuitive to his own seat of power among the gods, but entirely possible to see his promise on the board of a better reality. In a moment of intrigue, innovation, and idealistic ambition, Sire chose to misplay, to secure the draw. Each combatant smiled, but for different purposes. As a compromise, Sire allowed the woman to gain his power as promised, but not his status as a god. She would remain mortal. Instead, he imbued into her the ability for her to exchange it, this godlike power, gifting others with it as she chose, with an innate knowledge of all its possibilities. The power she attained melded body and mind in such a way as to abolish the restless void within her, truly within mankind. A perfect spiritual actualization, as of yet unknown to sentient races. She can now write the reality she longed for, and so she started. To level out the power and within her own mortal frame, belaying her own capability into another distinct form, she created a companion for herself, imbuing with him the power of the mind, herself retaining the power of the body. Sire also revealed a certain truth about this power. He was giving, and this woman was receiving. It was not entirely a gift external of her mortal frame. No, in fact, he was unraveling an eternal seal in her soul, allowing a light which already existed to shine through into her body, mind, and heart. A seal placed there by the gods in the seams between time, to prevent man's ascension to a seat alongside them, or God forbid, a seat above them, or directly through them. She became known as the first awoken, the first to shatter fate and the last god, born unto the stars, the All-Mother. Her name is Sanguis. He, the companion to her that she had imbued into the world, became known as the World Mind, the psionic revelation, threader of four powers, cultivator of supersentience. His name was Sisig. Together, Sanguis and Sisig reigned over an age of mortality. Their time together in this space was brief in a cosmic sense, but eternal in the minds of beings like myself, the Aboleth. They created us, and their legends live on through us. The world we now walk upon was inextricably shaped by the All-Mother and her brothers and sisters. Her companions and fellow travelers among the mortal realms drew chaos from order, immortalizing the fate of all they came into contact with, as beings of chaotic reverie, forces of change, avatars of mortal progress. Sanguis and Sisig presided over the giving of their mythic power to any and all who could take it, who desired it, who wanted to become creators in their own right. To any and all who wished to be immortal, not in their body, but in their words and their heart. Their time was good, but their power from this Promethean gift invited chaos and war. An eternal struggle began once more, but not among men, who could now understand one another with a level of spiritual clarity for long-term peace. No, it was the gods who took their revenge upon the world, upon mortality, once again. The age of mortality ended at the beginning of the longest age of them all, the age of the divine. The gods took back reality from man, and man fell back to the chaos of a time none of them could remember or begin to cope with. The squalor of futile, unimaginative, mortal restlessness. To finally create this age, in an eternal conflict. Sanguis and Sisig and Sire were all thrown into the void defeated, into the aether between the stars, by the gods and demons and devils together, in an obscene coalition. Only remnants of their time here in this world, the stories, the bloodlines, the artifacts, the reincarnates, the memories within us all, remained of their passage. Their time was over, and the age of the gods began once more. This is the age we now find ourselves in, although nobody calls it by this name. And he kind of finishes at this point, but he gives a last word. He says, however, these are unlikely to be the last words of this story. It is said by madcap sorcerers and sages alike, throughout the ages in their investigation into the many myths that spawned from the story I have now told, that the All-Mother Sanguis wielded a grin on her crimson lips as the aether enveloped her and her children's forms, a smile heralding their eventual return from the void. And it has taken years, but her blood has been at work, so has his. And at this point, these words in your mind from the Aboleth end, coming to a jarring conclusion, interrupted by the cavern starting to shake around you, and each of you finds your mind space drawn back to the present moment. You continue to float above the water, the rain droplets continue to slowly fall upward all around you, this light is kind of all-encompassing. But each of you can now kind of, again, take in your surroundings, no longer under this effect of hearing the story. And this cavern in the pool at its center is now surrounded by various life forms. Around a dozen or so creatures surround the pool, staring up and at you. The Aboleth says no more. It actually doesn't appear to be in the water below you anymore. The rain droplet stops, spin in the air for a moment, before falling back down in the pool. The light within the pool goes out, and you find yourself falling towards the water as well. And y'all could take any number of reactions now. But I'll switch the map over.
I'm gonna take a free action and say Elder Scrolls 6.
Wait, did it actually get announced?
And be like, hey,
Yeah.
this is that scene from
They
Halo.
just announced it
Oh,
What?
shit.
What
Shit.
the fuck?
Are you
Like-
fucking kidding me?
9 minutes ago.
John, you're lying. They announced like a fucking Skyrim for your iPhone.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait, what's the release date?
there's no release date. They just said they're announcing it, and they announced some other game called
Early development.
Starfield, which is like a new series they've been working on. Yeah, but Skyrim for your iPhone.
Yeah, it's the first thing I saw on Twitter, so I just retweeted it. I'll watch it later.
So we just had a fucking Leviathan scene from Halo sort of experience.
I'm not gonna say no.
So we're falling.
You are now no longer suspended in the air above, and you're falling. I'm gonna say it's like this. Damn it. And you see figures all around you. But as you're falling, I'm saying you could take a reaction to do something. So the figures over here, I mean, you could tell me which way you wanted to look, and I could describe that direction's things. But as I said, you're in like a cavern, you're falling into this pool below you, and the light kind of went out, so it's now a lot darker. So if you don't have dark vision, it'd be harder to see, or without casting some kind of light.
I do not have dark vision, I don't think.
I think I can make a flame for some weird ass reason. Yeah. You instantly light a candle torch or a small campfire? No.
Alright, I guess we just fall. I'm kind of like, I think Malice is stunned by everything that's going on. He's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Okay. And then if nobody does any reactions while you're in the air, then as soon as you hit the water, everybody needs to roll initiative.
Whoop. Scoopity whoop.
Is there like a hole between us? What's the?
The black in the water is just where the Aboleth was, but it's no longer there.
Okay.
Okay, so Darian, you hit the water. As far as you can tell, it's pretty deep. Like it can It's deeper than you are tall, so you're like completely submerged. But then as soon as you surface, you feel kind of like this strange magical energy upon you coming from a creature over here. And if you were to look, you can see it's this small bipedal creature with one huge eye, and it's staring at you, and you kind of feel this searing pain. So you can roll a Constitution saving throw.
Is it trying to charm me?
No. And Malice, you do the same. There's another one of the things that I just described to Darian over here, and it's looking at you. So Constitution saving throw.
Ooh.
Fuck
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so you feel this, it's like this gaze that's like searing pain for a moment, but like as soon as you try to like focus on defending against it, you're able to, and it doesn't do anything to you. And then Malice, it would be your turn.
I think Krunen's back. He just rolled initiative. Kyle, you're on mute. I don't know if you have been talking.
Oh, yeah.
I was a sleepy boy. It's like-
Whoop!
Wait, Igor, what is that for?
Why not?
No, you didn't have a Constitution. It was Malice and Darian.
Oh, well, never mind then. Shit.
Now it's Malice's turn.
Is it Malice or Krunen's turn?
Oh, Krunen's 14 now, so now it's Krunen's turn first before Malice. Yeah, Malice was going to be going. So yeah, Krunen, what you see around you is you just hit the water after this Aboleth it was y'all were suspended in the air for like the length of the story, and then at the end of it, like the cavern started shaking. These figures emerged. Y'all come back to consciousness. You see this around you. You begin to fall in the water. What you see over here is like kind of like an outsized large bat. You see like a centipede-looking thing over here against the water. And then you see a small bipedal creature with a huge eye over here. And you can roll me nature checks on at least, I'd say, one of them as you look at it to inspect it. But
I'm pretty close to this bat thing. So.
okay.
Yeah.
It looks like a giant bat. And it's just kind of like flying in the air and it's just sitting there, yeah, for now. So you can, if you all wanted to swim out of the water, you have to move. It's half movement speed. So you roll me an athletics check to see how you handle that, and then you can move your half movement speed to try to like get onto the land. That's kind of the water's lapping up against the rock like pretty close right here.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, and then you can just move since you're close to the edge. You can move to wherever you'd want to end up.
Yeah, I don't have control.
No, you don't. Okay, maybe it's because I copied y'all over. I don't know why it doesn't.
Maybe you need to get off ruler mode.
Yeah, you might be in ruler mode.
I'm dumb.
Yeah.
John's gone.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
Okay. So as you get up over here, you're able to see over the edge of this, and you see another creature, this weird looking fucking worm thing. And you can roll me a nature check on that. But if you're going to make an action on this bat, you can roll me an attack. You still have your magic infused mace, right? That'll last for like an hour.
Yeah, I'll take a swing at this bat.
Okay.
I don't like the look of any of this stuff.
That is a hit. You strike it, and as you strike this like giant bat, it like kind of cries out, and you see in its place this let's send a picture. It transforms as you hit it, as like you draw blood on it.
Okay.
And this is what it actually looks like. And again, you don't know what this is. You see it because you're right up on it. And then it'd be your turn is over.
Hey, why is Sirocco sending us links?
Dylan can type as Sirocco.
I am Sirocco.
That was the joke I was making, John. Thanks.
Wow, that was a good one.
Talk about
What?
broken immersion.
It was a good one. Thank you.
It was, I agree.
So is it my turn?
Yep.
Okay, Malice kind of growls, and he's like, I'm going to fucking kill some of these things. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And he realizes he doesn't have a Weavar, and he's kind of worthless because all he has is his axe because he sold his other longsword. And so he's going to shout out, like, I don't suppose anybody grabbed my sword on the way out to this fucking cavern filled with monsters.
I grabbed it. I don't know if I can toss it as a free action during not my turn, but
Can I swim? I'm going to swim to John.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, you can give it to him. I would say you can use your reaction to give it to him. So you just wouldn't be able to do a reaction on this round.
Okay, I'll give it to him. But I want to be like, I want to talk to you about the sword afterwards.
Yeah, I'll kind of growl like, yeah, I haven't been super forthcoming about this thing. I'm sorry if you had an unpleasant interaction with it.
Yeah, not really unpleasant. I just have some questions, and maybe you can answer them since you've been like with
Basically,
it
what he's
longer.
saying is that he's mad as hell.
I'm mad IRL.
All right.
mad in every life.
It's like, okay, we'll talk about it after we fucking kill these things.
Agreed.
All right, I'm armed again,
Yep.
and that's my turn because that is my full movement speed for swimming.
Okay, so you're treading water. Agalor, it's up to you.
I'm doing the same shit. I'm gonna get out. So it's athletics.
Yeah, athletics to see how well you're able to swim, basically, and then you can move half your speed, unless something lets you do otherwise.
I'm retarded, so I can't swim.
Okay. Well, which way did you want to go? It depends how like far.
Just, I mean, straight.
Okay,
10.
so you're able to get there.
All right, and then you said I have to roll nature.
You can roll nature, like these checks, like perception, even like these are kind of directed by y'all. Like sometimes I like force y'all to roll it just something's happening, but like if you wanted to like see what the creature was, just say I'm gonna roll nature because I'm looking at this creature and I want to know if I know what it is. Then
yeah, I'm gonna do that. I don't know.
No, I mean, so you see this one. I can send a picture of this guy as well.
Yeah,
So these guys, they look humanoid. They're like dank, dark colored.
Dank.
Yeah, you could say they look kind of dank.
That's just not me. I'm not the only one.
Oh wow! Whenever I Google this, it pulls up
that-
entirely different pictures. That's hilarious. This is a Grimlock, and it's not the giant dinosaur transformer. Oh god!
Oh, no.
What have you done?
Oh, God. I'm going to take a pee real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh my god!
What the fuck, guys?
That's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh, there it is. It's at the bottom.
Well, I posted a new one.
What the hell?
Oh god, that thing looks like hell.
This thing's creepy. As
So
fuck.
it's like this is like a cave person. You don't know a lot about them, but this is a Grimlock.
Damn.
God, that looks terrible in the chat. Jesus, that's so frustrating. Why would it do that?
I did that the other night.
I know. It's like I just hit copy image address, and that's it. Okay, so you can move yourself out of there, and then take
John,
whatever.
I'm gonna piss.
Jesus.
Oh my god, John, get your prostate checked. This was back pressure.
I'm gonna be honest, that was me drinking out of this.
Oh, okay. I thought that was John pissing.
Still get your prostate checked.
Yeah. Everyone should get their prostate checked.
All right, so you're moving out, then you're attacking with your bow, or you're what are you looking at?
Well, I'm gonna take out my
Your
my
sword.
thing. Yeah, I'm gonna take out my sword and go at this guy.
Okay, so you can roll me an attack with your sword.
Attack, baby.
That's a hit.
My turn?
Then
That's a hit.
roll some damage.
Oh, yeah,
Ooh.
baby. Oh yeah, baby.
So you bring down your blade upon this guy and you cut his arm off. Like he has an arm with a club and he's like, "Ugh." And then you cut his arm. And he's like, oh! And then he like falls on the ground. He's
So
looking
it's
at his
like-
arm.
It's like the cantina when like Obi-Wan like chops that terrible like spaghetti man's like arm off.
Yeah, you just rise out of the water. You're dripping. You just pull out your sword and you're like, you just walk up without even talking to him and you just like shuffle your feet and you just cut his arm off and he's like, oh! And then you're done. But it's
I
not.
was just
It's not.
inviting you to lunch. What the fuck?
Yeah, I did that shit, man. I'm done.
Okay, and then now it's Darian's turn.
I just wanted to smoke herb.
I can. So, swimming is half speed. I assume I can still get. Yeah, easily get to that guy. I'm gonna run up and or swim up and attack this boy.
Yep.
What happened to that boy? Come on, John.
What happened to that boy? That's a hit. So this guy, you can roll me a nature check on this. Okay, so you slice down at it. It's it's mostly able to like dodge out of the way, but this, yeah, that definitely damages it. Like hits it, glancing
what?
well. So you can roll me a nature to see if you know what it is. Oh, you do not. But
You said it almost dodged out of the way.
yeah. No, I mean
What?
like it like that. This thing has a lot of health. You didn't do that much to it.
Oh, okay, okay. So I don't know anything.
No, I'm gonna send you a picture of what it looks like though. It's
Okay.
Rocco's turn though, so I'm gonna do his turn. He's gonna swim over here. I'll roll an athletics.
I have a little health bar now.
And he gets there.
I'm gonna kill whoever is causing that to happen. Though
Probably
I'm gonna kill you because you didn't tell me how to make mine do it as well. I want like 3 boop sounds going.
That sounded terrible. So Rocco's gonna punch out.
That's low key like the second best song Kanye's dropped.
He's gonna miss this closet over here. This weird looking creature.
Hey, send
Closet?
a link to that one. Send a link. I want to see what it looks
I
like.
already
bro.
sent the link to that one. Korean
Was
saw
it the
it
first
earlier.
one? Oh, the what? Before, like, the longest URL of all time?
Yeah, I'll send it again.
Yeah, John, how do you feel about that?
I was here when that happened. I almost died.
Oh, okay.
I had to go pee just because I saw that. Like, it disrupted my like.
Yeah, it disrupted your prostate.
Yeah, it disrupted something. I don't know. If you want to say that, it's fine.
I don't
John's
understand
touchy.
how this URL.
John's touchy about his prostate. John does not like talking about his prostate.
Man, I'm at my I hit my quarter century mark and it's starting to act up already.
That's the
All right,
thing.
so
That's the thing you see, Darian, right in front of you. Okay, these things are gonna move now.
there's so many.
Send me a Twitter
Okay,
link.
Great.
What the fuck is this shit?
What? I didn't send shit.
He sent the Twitter link.
How far does these guys move? 30 feet. Okay. So this one, you see him move over here. You see this guy move over here. This guy moves over here. They're surrounding you, Agalor. The guy with his arm cut off, he kind of like, he's still alive, and he comes over to help his friends, but he can't really make an attack. And then these two are going to make an attack on you. I think one of them is going to hit 4 damage on you. There's a club that comes down on your back. These things are advantaged when they're attacking you because they've surrounded you. And then this thing is going to attack you, Krunan. It looks pretty weak though. That attack that you did on it, which didn't do that much, it still was able to like damage it. So you see it, it kind of like, it looks at you and it kind of like screeches your direction and you need to make a wisdom saving throw, Krunan. It's like focusing on you. And then this thing is going to swim over and it's going to attack. This like centipede thing is going to attack Sirocco.
Oh
boy.
no!
And Sirocco takes 7 damage. He gets fucked on by this thing. Sirocco doesn't look too good, folks. And Krunan, with that, this thing like enters your mind in a way that like you are now frightened of this creature. So that means that you have to move away from it, I think, or you can't move towards it at all, and any attacks on it get disadvantage.
I'm afraid of which one am I afraid of?
You're afraid of this one.
Okay.
And then this thing is gonna move up towards you as well. This thing you can roll me a nature check on, but it's like a giant worm with like a beak on the end, and there's 4 tentacles coming out of its face. And like the reason you kind of couldn't see it before is that it looked like it was like wrapped around the stone and like was almost camouflaged around it. And then once you had entered close enough to where it could approach you, it did, and it kind of just came seemingly out of nowhere. Okay, so you know this thing is like a grick, which is a worm-like monstrosity which blends in with the rocks and caverns that it haunts, and it has barbed tentacles on its like 4 tentacles coming out of its face, and at the center of it, it's like a beak. It's like a squid, but for caverns. So you know all that about it. And it's going to strike at you, but you're able to fend it off with your weapons, so it doesn't hit you. Back to the top of the order. Malice, where you are in the pool, you hear like this similar voice in your mind that you heard earlier, and it sounds like it's like the same mental link as like the Aboleth, and it tells you that these creatures are not under its control. It long ago lost the ability to be able to dominate things, and these things are under the control of another, and they were put here to prevent me from going anywhere else, basically. Like, he's trapped here because of something else that's controlling these things. And like, again, you can't see him, and the link feels more faint.
Can I speak back to him or no?
Yeah, you could certainly try to mentally speak back.
Okay, I'll be like, okay, who do we need to cut down to break the seal?
They aren't nearby. I've been here for longer than I can possibly remember, and I've lived for a long time.
Okay, well, I'm gonna come back, but I need to kill these things because they're killing my friends.
Please do. So this thing, Darian, before you, swipes at you twice with its claws, and as it's swiping at you, make a charisma check, not a saving throw. One of the attacks is gonna hit, and you're gonna take 8 damage. This thing claws you in the gut. Jesus. Charisma check, and then this thing is gonna make a check. So you're able to resist whenever it stares at you, but you notice that it was peering into your mind. It wasn't trying to harm you there, but it was trying to find something out. But you do take the claw attack, one of them.
No, I don't think I want to, actually.
And then this thing is going to circle around this way. And Malice, you feel the same kind of searing pain on your forearm for a moment as this thing stares out at you, so you make a Constitution saving throw as it stares at you.
Damn it.
And then Krunan, it would be your turn. So you take 9 damage from this thing. You can feel like your skin and armor start to like rot away. If it continued to stare at you, like it would fucking kill you probably.
Yeah.
So you take 9 damage from that, and then it's Krunan's turn.
Okay. What's this thing?
That's Sirocco, and next to him is like a giant centipede that swam over from the other side of this. And as y'all are over here, Krunan and Sirocco, you can both hear. You can't see around the bend over here, really. And you could see probably all of this.
Why does Sirocco look different, or am I just...
He's got that long flowing hair. I don't know.
He looks like a monster right now, sorry.
Oh, he's not a monster, though. No.
Yeah. No. Okay, I'm gonna take a swing at the worm.
Okay. But yeah, y'all can both hear, like, running water, like heavy running water, as if from like it's just a lot louder than the running water that appears at these small little like brooks right here around the bend of this room as y'all are standing over there. So you're gonna swing at the worm right here?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a hit and that hurts it. So are you getting
Kyle, remember I had to add +1 to
yeah, are you adding +1 to this because you're
Yeah.
Okay, so you're already including it or not?
I manually put it into...
Oh, sweet. Okay. Yeah, so that hits it. You see it like cry out. It hits its tentacles. It's bleeding, and that's solid damage to it.
Okay, and then for bonus action, I'm going to... Oh, fuck. I did this in the wrong order. I was going to cast Searing Smite.
I mean, if you want to reverse the order, I can say you did Searing Smite first. It's not a huge deal.
Okay, yeah, so
If there's some
basically
advantage
melee
to doing
attacks
that.
do extra 1d6 fire damage.
Okay, so
No.
Searing Smite. Is that like a cantrip, or is that a first level spell?
First level.
Okay, so that's a bonus action.
Yeah.
So it takes an extra 1d6. You can roll that.
Sweet.
Nice.
6 damage. So yeah, this thing is not looking too hot. It's like one of its tentacles falls off.
Yeah. So the worm's on fire now, and the target must make a
Constitution. Okay, yeah, I have it pulled up. So if on a failed save, it takes 1d6. So it remains on fire until it's able to save. Okay. Or it jumps in water, but I don't know how smart this thing is.
Worm barbecue.
Yeah. You see one of its tentacles fall off, and it's kind of like on fire. And I don't know, maybe Krunan thinks that smells good. And Malos, it would be your turn.
Also, I'm sorry guys, I gotta go to bed.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, y'all could continue playing if you wanted, or I mean, I could just finish out this bout. I could control Krunan, or we could call it if everybody else has to go to bed as well.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with going to bed.
I do want to
dying in the water.
do one thing before we leave, so I can remember. Is whenever I'll just say it happens now, but it would be happening whenever Darian and Agalor are going. Y'all notice, kind of, especially you, Agalor, being from like the forest and seeing spiders in the forest. You notice that there's like webbing around the area that you're in over here, and kind of the one, I guess not the one that got attacked already, the one that's right here. You see a spider come out like from out of the darkness along the wall, along the webbing, and like come out and like lunge at one of these Grimlocks that's next to you. And you can see like other Grimlock skeletons in its webbing along the wall behind you. And then same thing with you, Darian. You see a different colored spider, but another spider, giant spider, behind you over here that is like come down, and it would take an action on its turn.
All right.
Well, actually, it looks like Alex did it, so now we can actually blame it on him.
Yeah, when he comes back, just be like, Alex, why'd you do this? He's like, I didn't do that. And then he'll never play with us ever again.
Maybe. All right, I gotta watch this Elder Scrolls stuff. I guess I have to go to bed now. I'm being forced into bed.
I ain't gotta do shit.
Relish that shit, my guy. All right, I'm watching this Elder Scrolls trailer. It's just like gonna say the name. It's not even like a real thing.
Yep.
It's because they just started like working on it recently or something.
Yeah, they just
It was
like,
funny 'cause
they
like
grab B-rolls from like Skyrim, and there's just throw that in there. They won't know the difference.
Yeah.
We've only released Skyrim.
I don't know
for
what the
last
hell's up
7
with that like Elder Blades thing.
Another game.
Yeah.
phone game.
Did they at least give the subtitle of it?
Nope. Just 6.
You get nothing, bro.
The music sounds like worse.
You're
Why
already
does the
out on
music
it?
sound like this?
You're already out on it?
No, I'll never be out.
What the hell? Kanye was on Family Feud?
Yeah,
That's
dude.
terrible. That probably didn't end well. No gameplay, no release date. It's them Floyd Mayweather throwing L's. It isn't coming at least for another year and a half. These people are so mad. Like, this interaction, it's like, no gameplay, no release date. Floyd Mayweather L GIF. And it's like, because it ain't coming out for at least another year and a half. 600 likes. They've just announced a new Fallout, completely new IP. People still cry. There's only a teaser for TES. 769 likes. No new IP release date or gameplay. Fallout 76 using same old engine. And then the guy's like, it's the Nick Young face. Like, you want new engine for every single game? It's like, no, I want new engine after 3 years. He's like,
3 years?
He's like, so every single game. He's like, the only one they used for Fallout is shit. So, and then it's Todd Howard as Jesus. Like, this is good as hell. This is all extremely good as hell.